Hey everyone, welcome back to our Python series, and today we're going to be diving into web scraping. So this is how we can gather different data or information from a website. We're going to use some powerful libraries such as the requests, as well as BeautifulSoup. We're going to be talking about soup a lot in this episode, try not to get hungry, in order to scrape and parse information. Let's go ahead and dive on in. So I'm going to be using Visual Studio Code. I already have Python installed on my machine, but we are going to need to install a couple more modules for this one. But first, let's go ahead and create our new Python file. I'm going to call mine web_scraper. Save it in our Pythons folder. So something I learned is we actually don't have to use terminal or command on our Windows or Mac computers. We can actually use the terminal built into Visual Studio Code. So if you want to toggle the panel here, we can go ahead and use the pip command. If you're on Mac or Linux, it'll have to be pip3, Windows just pip, followed by install. And then we're going to do our requests, and then we'll install BeautifulSoup for all one word. We can then go ahead and hit return, and we can go ahead and see that it has installed. Mine is apparently out of date, but should be fine for our purposes today. So if you want to use this instead of terminal or command, go for it. And now that we've successfully installed the libraries, sometimes you might need to restart your Visual Studio Code. Otherwise, let's go ahead and import those libraries. So we're going to say import requests. So this is going to import the requests for our HTTP. And then we're going to go ahead and say from BS4, so BeautifulSoup 4, import BeautifulSoup, capital B and S. So importing BeautifulSoup allows us to parse that HTML content. Next, let's go ahead and define the target URL we'd like to scrape. So we can just define this as URL equals, and from here, this is where we can include any link. So if you want to paste in your favorite website, for my example today, I'm just going to do python.org, and then we can go ahead and see what's going on that website. So paste that in. Next, we're going to send an HTTP GET request in order to fetch the web page content. So we can call this one response, which will equal the requests.get. And then we're going to be passing through that URL that we've defined above. Then we're going to check if the request was successful. For this one, we're going to be looking for the status code 200. You might be familiar with some other status codes like 404 not found, right? So if response.status code, and this is underscore code, equals 200, we'll add our colon here. We'll then parse the page content by using BeautifulSoup. So we're going to go ahead and reference soup equals BeautifulSoup. We're going to look for the response.text, and then this is going to be for our HTML.parser. Okay, so what if we want to extract certain information? For our example, let's go ahead and grab all the headings from the web page, and then we'll explore all the hyperlinks that are available on the web page. So let's go ahead and look for the headings, and this is going to equal the soup that we have above, .find_all. And then we're going to be looking within the parameters for the h2. So this is going to find all elements with the h2 tag in HTML. We'll then go ahead and print all of those. So we can say headings on this page. Then we'll loop through all that information. So for heading in headings, go ahead and print heading.text. So this is going to print only the text content for each of the headings. So if there's heading that's like news or updates and things like that, we'll only grab the text content from that. Okay, let's go ahead and exit this for loop, but still remain within the if statement, so we'll only want to go back one. Let's go ahead and extract and print all hyperlinks from the web page. So for this one, we'll reference these as links, and this will also equal soup.findAll. And we're going to be looking for the A tag in HTML, which are all those anchor elements. See, I knew my days of learning HTML were still very relevant. Okay, next we're going to be printing the links on the page, and we're actually going to use the /n followed by our text, links on this page. We're going to be repeating our link above, so we're going to say link in links. This is we're going to reference the href. So the href is the kind of attribute that holds the URL. And this is going to equal the link.get. I'm going to grab that href. Next, we're going to ensure the href exists in order to avoid any errors. So we can use an if statement to catch it here. So if href, and a colon will go down, and we'll go ahead and print the href that's involved there. So it's going to print the link. Alrighty, let's go ahead and exit this if statement and now add an else. And this is going to kind of be our final error handling. And we can go ahead and say like, hey, failed to retrieve the web page, check your internet connection or URL. So we'll print that message to the user and be like, failed to retrieve the web page. Double check your connection or URL provided. Thanks. All right, let's go ahead and run our code. Oh, it looks like I have an error here, line 9. Perhaps I forgot a comma. Oh, I did forget a comma after the text. You're correct. Thank you, debugger, for noticing my little mistakes. Okay, on line 9 here, where we have the BeautifulSoup response text, we will need a comma before the HTML parser. Okay, now let's go ahead and run our code. So this should go ahead and grab all of the headers as well as the links available on python.org. Let's go ahead and run it. We can see in our console, we have a lot of things. Maybe I chose too crazy of a website with too many links, but let's go ahead and scroll all the way back up. And we can see we have our headings on this page: get started, download, docs, jobs, etc. Use Python 4, and then all the links on the page. So it even has the different HTMLs and things like that. So we have like the downloads, windows. We can even see that we're printing off any of those links. We can actually even go ahead and command click on these. We can open the external website. We can see that it takes us to this wiki link. So if we were to go to python.org, we can kind of see all those headers as well as all of these links, but instead we've kind of scraped it into all the information we could ever want or need. So today we saw how Python can easily gather valuable information from websites. Web scraping is essential for collecting data for research, analysis, as well as automating any tasks. Great job today. Next, we're going to go ahead and explore data visualization using Python. Subscribe and leave your comments and questions below. Dream big, code bigger, and we'll see you in the next one. Oh, and just as a reminder, if you are looking for any of these scripts that I create, they are available on my website. So the link for this is always in the description below, but we can see we have our Python projects here, and any projects can be found here. You can even go ahead and search for the project if you do want the source code, and if you want to watch the tutorial as well, it is all embedded under the buttons here.